Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dian Yunanda and I'm English student. This time, I will convey some important information from the video debate that I have watched. With the motion, this House will impose a sin tax on the purchase of all meat products. And let's we move to the next segment. The first is attention getters. From this debate video, I found the attention getter is the excessive consumption of meat is damaging to the environment, so we can be done about it. Will the excess tax levied on the purchase of our meat products reduce consumption and environmental damage? The next is we talk about thesis or claim. Here, they claim this House will carry out an arson attack on the purchase of all meat products. From this claim, they explain that it was the duty of the government to practice policies that could benefit society in the long term. Then, they put forward two arguments to strengthen their claim. First, about air pollution, and second, about effectiveness for all stakes. From the argument, they want to talk about how synthetic and meat products can help our growing concern. Then they give evidence of how the meat massively pollutes the air. To guard every non-living soul, to enchase it and overpower it. The land is a very large land. To give an example of one of the most consumed meats, which is beef. To produce 1 kilogram of beef, we need 43,000 liters of water, which can accommodate 660 people up to the bed. And they also know that importance of this issue, that but only this imposing syntax can actually solve the underlying problem. They say the government wants to improve the air pollution situation, that is, nation has consistently rise because of these types of code their lifestyle in detrimental to the environment, which is actually air pollution, and they believe that this network will really help reduce the problem of this type of air pollution. So move on to the greenhouse gases and the animals. The policies that are being taken are much more serious than we think and we believe it belong to the government, because it's their job to impart this seriousness to the citizen. So they want to prove how syntax can help us to reduce and can help our society. This policy to be effective, as they mentioned before, the pollution caused by the production of the kind of meat product is very large, to reach 30% of greenhouse gases. But in humans, including the whole process of meat production, invested in the same tax policy to be effective and the result to be obtained government that is on people who eat less meat. Next, let's we move to counter-argument. After the government team presented their arguments, then conflicting arguments came from the opposition team. They made a claim excess tax in the tax should be imposed on the purchase of all meat products. And here, the team opposes, first refuting the argument on the government team, who mentioned in the first argument. They give a specific example of how this meat can really destroy the air and environment. Then can you still say that I'm not destroying the environment meat? Of course, they destroy the environment, but the same for planes. What other material should you choose for planes that we can still live without consuming whether source or nutrition? It's their point here. So, next is what we also want to say is that this could be a lot of countries, because for governments to impose this kind of policies is too protective and interference with the personal choices that the pollution want to create. So, the second argument that the opposition leader wants to put forward in the economic burden, they can be imposed on the poor that they have, because there is already meat, which is already relatively expensive compared to other products. If we come to the syntax in this meat product, and poor people have to pay more money, and they won't be able to consume the required nutrient from the meat. This is also wrong. First of all, to put in the text of consumer of meats, because first of all, it's the government job to impose taxes of the person who caused the sin, the person who owned that, the person who caused this sin is the producer. They are the people who authentically produce these meats produced, not the consumer. And the consumer only has what they have, only nothing wrong is to go to the market and buy the products that meat they need for their dinner or the consumption of whatever they really want to do. Therefore, this is the reason why the ethic and economic team of the opposition believe that this house should not impact the purchase of all meat products. After we talk the counter-argument, let we move to the rebuttal. Then, the argument given by the opposition team was again refuted by the government team. Here is explained that they are asking responsible citizens in this world, in this universe, that know that they have to protect the world, and it's their that duty to reduce the purchase of meat products. It is because it's harm human is many things according to economic principle. Then, when taxes leading to the higher prices are imposed, demand will be lower, which will result in lower consumption and supply of meat. With this basic principle, they proudly say that this policy of imposing a sin tax on the purchase of meat products will be achieved 100%, is the ultimate goal to reduce the amount of meat consumption. Here, the government team argued that the syntax only make a difference through consumption, and unlike cigarettes and other alcohol, meat doesn't cause harm, but they say the meat causes too much harm to human. For example, its scalp cancer is human, and also damage of environment is a very large amount and extent. Very large, and they also say that they are not going to make people not eat meat at all, but they are just trying to make people eat less. And here they're also reminding that this policy doesn't force all citizens to become vegetarian, but we encourage them to move a little bit more into the smart feed on the climate change. Furthermore, the government team gave a reason for the opposition team argument that they had submitted that the poor had to pay more money with this policy, and therefore they said that safe water and environment could help be benefit all humans and animals in the world, and also the policy this government will be useful because it can be used in many ways or other things that can help poor people. Well, guys, we come to the last segment is conclusion. So, from the debate video that I have watched, it can be concluded that the winner of the debate came from opposition team, because they were able to find weaknesses in the opposing teams. It's from government team, and this was reinforced by the evidence they presented. So that's the explanation that I can convey for you the video debate that I watched. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.